Joining me now for more Lefties Losing It content is comedian and host of Primetime with Alex Stein on Blaze TV. Alex Stein, MSNBC gives us so much content on this program. The Morning Joe program is in all sorts of trouble. They've seen some of their lowest ratings since 2021. The lefties are really upset with the hosts, Joe and Mika, for visiting President-elect Donald Trump at Mar-a-Lago. We've got Elon Musk, meanwhile, teasing the idea of buying MSNBC after its parent company, Comcast, put the network up for sale. Alex, is this a real possibility, or is he just having some fun and games with the MSNBC crew?
Well, I think with Elon, I mean, everything is possible. Anything is absolutely possible with Elon. And when you saw Rachel Maddow crying because of Elon Musk or, being emotional, and they say maybe that video is edited, it doesn't matter. MSNBC's viewers realize that they can't trust that network. That network called everybody a Nazi for 8 years. They said Kamala Harris was going to win the election. So their audience is just leaving in droves because they feel like they were duped. And that's exactly what happened. So I would love for Elon to buy MSNBC and resurrect it like he made X the best social media network in the world.
Alex, it would be fascinating if Elon Musk does follow through with this threat and actually purchases MSNBC to see if there would be wholesale resignations where all the hosts like Maddow and Joy Reid and Joe Scarborough would resign on principle, or whether they try to work with him. It would be fascinating. You would grab the popcorn, but the man is pretty busy. He's got a few things to take care of. There's pressure on the newly formed Department of Government Efficiency, which Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy will be leading. There's calls for them to cut funding to NPR, and for good reason. Let's listen to the woke boss of NPR, who used to be the Wikimedia Foundation chief. This is Catherine Maas, who seems to have some very strange ideas about truth. She thinks our reverence for truth is a distraction.
The Wikipedians who write these articles aren't actually focused on finding the truth. They're working for something that's a little bit more attainable, which is the best of what we can know right now. And after 7 years there, I actually believe that they're onto something. That for our most tricky disagreements, seeking the truth and seeking to convince others of the truth isn't necessarily the best place to start. In fact, I think our reverence for the truth might have become a bit of a distraction that is preventing us from finding consensus and getting important things done.
The truth is a distraction? It's a little disturbing, Alex.
Rita, I'm a full-blown conspiracy theorist, and they've even made that word, an incredible description. If you're described as a conspiracy theorist, you're demonized. But during the pandemic, if you looked into it, if you did your own research, they called you stupid. So this is a serious issue where they don't want citizens to even seek truth, ask questions, have any idea what's going on. They want us confused. They want us stressed out. They want us focusing not on trying to fix the problems, and they want us fighting with each other. So this is a much bigger issue when the head of NPR, the National Public Radio, is saying that truth is not important. It's just, that's the real, that's really what's happening in America, is they're hiding the truth. And you hear it right then and there from the person that controls our public radio. It's insane, Rita.
It is, and it helps explain why trust in the media in the US is at historic lows. I think they've earned that mistrust well and truly. And the trust in the public institutions in general is so low, and that's why Trump won so comprehensively. People want him to go in there and clean up these institutions that have become so politicised and really lost their way. Talking about Donald Trump, let's have a look at his new Attorney General. He's selected former Florida AG Pam Bondi after Matt Gaetz dropped out. That was a surprise to many. But lefties everywhere are still freaking out about this latest selection. Let's have a look at what MSNBC had to say.
Pam Bondi is exactly what I was saying in the last segment, that we should all fear, because she's competent. We may not agree with her ideologically, but she actually knows how to do this job. So if anyone on the Democratic side or anyone who cared about liberty or justice was thinking, well, maybe Matt Gaetz will screw this up and that'll give us some time. No, Pam Bondi knows what she's doing. She is a dangerous and effective pick, and that's frankly worse than what we would have got with Matt Gaetz.
Well, that's music to my ears. I want to hear that she's got the same ideology as Matt Gaetz and is being highly effective in implementing the sort of changes Trump wants to see at a national level. What can you tell me about Pam Bondi? Because she's also received praise from rhinos, including Jeb Bush and Mitt Romney. That's worried a few people. That's not normally a good sign. Do you know much about Pam Bondi?
You know, my knowledge is limited. She kind of, for me, came out of nowhere, and I was really disappointed when Matt Gaetz wasn't the Attorney General and he stepped down, because I know Matt Gaetz would actually go after a lot of the corruption that's happening within, the unelected bureaucrats of the FBI and all of our alphabet agencies. So that would have been great. Pam Bondi, though, is supported by, like you said, a lot of rhinos. And, Rita, that is one problem. Trump is great. Trump is anti-establishment. But even there's conservatives on the right that don't have Donald Trump's back that will, pretend to have Donald Trump's back. So I'm not saying that's the case with Pam Bondi. I'm just saying it's hard to trust anybody that's in politics, because they all seem to lie to us. So I hope Pam Bondi does a great job. The fact that the left is afraid of her, that is a good indication. That's a good start. And if they're saying she's effective and she is effective, well, then she'll be a great pick. But, the jury's out. We got to wait and see.
Well, it's such a critical role, isn't it? You really want someone who gets the agenda, is on board and willing to fight the good fight in that role. It is one of the most important ones. Alex, the mayor of Denver, Mike Johnson, has said that he'd deploy local police to block Donald Trump's mass deportations. And it's worth noting that hours after he made that vow, an illegal immigrant in Denver was charged with sexually assaulting a 14-year-old girl. How much resistance is Donald Trump going to face, Alex, from sanctuary city mayors and other leftists who are determined to obstruct his administration's deportation plan?
Well, the mayor of Denver, me being polite, is an idiot if he thinks he's going to stop this. Donald Trump's kicking people out that are here illegally. Donald Trump's going to do that. I mean, Tom Homan, the guy he appointed, is a no-nonsense guy that's going to get these people out of there. And if you really look at the people in the cities that are plagued by this problem, the illegal immigration, it's in New York. And you have Mayor Eric Adams, who's a lifelong Democrat, basically cozying up to Donald Trump because he needs his help. He needs his support. He realizes that a lot of these people have criminal records and that we can't vet them at the border. So if you're unvetted, and we don't know that if you're a murderer or if you have a sexual assault on your record and we're just letting you in the country, that's unacceptable. So we have to stop that. If you want to come here, you got to come here legally. And I think Donald Trump has even said that if you graduate from a school, he's going to make it easier for you to get citizenship. So it's like these mayors that think what Donald Trump is doing is sinister or bad for trying to protect American citizens makes me sick. And these sanctuary cities are not going to be able to stop Donald Trump if Donald Trump wants to get the job done.
Well, he has a mandate to do this. This isn't a surprise. This was an election promise, and the American people voted for it. So I just don't know how any mayor can say we're not participating in this. Talk about democracy denying. That's a threat to democracy right there, denying the will of the American people. Before you go, Alex, we don't talk about art enough on this program. We're clearly Philistines. And I've got to say, this painting here looks to me like it was painted by a untalented child, but it's a masterpiece.
The star of this evening's auction, the fabulous Mark Rothko from 1954. 50% of the works from this incredible year for the artist are housed in permanent museum collections. This is an incredibly rare opportunity to buy one of the greatest works by the artist.
Alex, it ended up selling for $32 million US. That is 30% lower than it sold for a few years back. But I'm starting to believe, you said you're a conspiracy theorist, and I'm starting to believe these conspiracy theories about the art world being largely funded by a money laundering operation. I mean, how can that be worth $32 million US?
Rita, you nailed it. This is some sort of CIA money laundering scam. I don't know what it is, but that doesn't make any sense to me. So I think you're right on the nose. You're right on the money when it comes to saying what is going on. It doesn't make sense.
Well, yes, but I should make clear for legal purposes, I'm not suggesting whoever purchased that painting for 32 million US is involved in money laundering. I'm just talking broadly about these conspiracy theories that exist about the art world, just making that crystal clear. Alex Stein, thanks for your time tonight.